I like to think that Brad and I are pretty lenient when it comes to independent games and titles being in early access and stuff like that. But that is not how we feel about the day before. Brad, tell me about your limited experience with this game.
It was actually a pleasant surprise. It was really easy to buy the game. You just have to put in your credit card information and pay for it on Steam, and then you got to download it. It took like 30 minutes or so. It was like 55 gigs. Logging onto the game's pretty easy. You had to create your character. It took like 2 or 3 minutes, and then the expectation just drops off a cliff at that point. A good, I don't know, 25 30 minutes of just randomly clicking on servers because they're all full, or they all say normal and still just get connection errors. After my second 10 or 15 minute attempts into getting into the game, I finally got into the game. And I watched the opening cutscene, and as I took control of the character, I just fell to the floor. And that was the extent of my
Did the game crash afterwards? Did it just completely crash, or did you just like give up?
No, it actually crashed. So after that, I tried to load the game back up, and I got into a second game, and then it crashed like on start. Like the doctor, when you see the doctor's face, it just crashed, and I was like, whatever, I'm done. I didn't want to get too close to the refund timer. So I was just like, I'm just going to.
And on top, I think the good news is for both of us that we were refunded faster than it took us to find a server. That is insane. Yeah. So I logged on, spent about 10 minutes looking for a server, said, look, it's probably packed. It was the most wishlisted game of the year. And then came back to it, went literally to every different server, Europe, Asia, even when it said low. Finally refreshed for the last time, got into a server in North America, and I get to the cutscene with the doctor, and it pushes me out of bounds into the next room. So the game is so busted that if you don't get past that cutscene, you can't open any door. So you're just kind of stuck in purgatory. My second time reloading the game, because I wanted to see if I could get outside. That was a tangible goal. I was met with the doctor, and then I tried to open the door like 3 times, and it just kept sticking. So then I backed up, and then I did it one more time, and it finally gave me a cutscene to open the door. You're then greeted with about a 5 to 6 minute montage of the opening area, of like your hub area. Looks something like it was straight ripped from The Division. Obviously, it's a clear inspiration.
I was thinking Borderlands, but yeah, okay, it makes sense.
You're then forced to talk to every single NPC, right? You go talk to the gunsmith. They then make you go to a bench to modify the gun for no reason. That made absolutely no sense. You go from there, and then you go and talk to the main character. They're the main person who actually runs this area, and this individual sounds like he has AI-generated lines. Did not make any sense. And then you have to go outside, and you build like a small little like camp for yourself, which I don't know what purpose that served. That was kind of a weird thing. I don't think I've saw that in any of the gameplay trailers. And then I finally got outside. I ran around for about 10-15 minutes. There's nothing in that city. I ran to like one random zombie encounter. Yeah, there's like nothing that like goes on. There's no like random encounters, none of that stuff. Like I walked past a random cab, a zombie spawned in it, opened the door, got caught in the door, ran at me, and then took like 10 bullets to take it down. It was pretty crazy. And then I ran for about 10 to 15 minutes because there's actually no indicator on your map or on the HUD to show you where you're supposed to go. So you have to constantly drop to your map to see where you're going. And the first mission makes you travel, I want to say like a good 30 minutes to this area because you're on foot the entire time. So here's the deal. Game crashes. I load back in, and my expectation is I'm past the tutorial area, so all I have to do is just go back into the hub, and I'm back. It spawned me in the area just outside the doctor's office, and it locked me in. And then 2 more people spawned in there with me.
Correct.
And they just stood there looking around, and they went, okay, that's enough for me.
Death?
No, we couldn't do anything. Can't draw your weapon, can't go into your inventory, can't do anything. You just quit. And this poor dude was like, He was trying his hardest. He tried like almost every door. I can't believe. And I think it would have been funny, right? If we had gotten to the point with this game where it was all the rumors about it, all the red flags were wrong, right? I think that's what we were hoping for. And then it turns out all the red flags were true. You went on the Discord. What did you find?
Cancer. I mean, it was pretty bad. It was very the general chat was pretty toxic. Either, well, actually, I take that back. The feedback form, so they have like the debug reporting. Discord has a lot of new features that I'm not really familiar with, but you can like create like a text channel, but you can create it like more of like a forum, so they can like submit a thread, and then it's a channel of threads instead of like a chat. The forum was actually way more like toxic in the it was more like game is trash, devs please kill yourselves, like things like that.
Wow.
Like just insane. The general chat was just like, it was more memey, it was more just like day before refund, or something, it's just a bunch of stuff like that. And then like one message kept getting spammed. Like there was like 30 different people just putting the same, it was a big blurb. It was like, the game's so terrible, y'all implemented like a 30-minute chat cooldown in Discord, y'all don't respond to anything, y'all are basically just false advertisers, shame on y'all type deal. And that was basically just posted over and over and over until they actually locked down all of the text channels, like in every language in the server. That was great. It's good stuff.
I saw somewhere that apparently the developers went onto their YouTube channel for the day before and removed the old videos showcasing what the game was when it initially, had gotten announced. They had like this big gameplay reveal. I think it was that 10-minute breakaway that we all thought it was too good to be true because it's a very small developer. So you kind of made a smart ass comment to me before on X, and you told me that this was This was a good example of how not to make a game.
Yes.
What are we
how
thinking
to
here?
Not launch a game.
Yeah, how to not launch a game? What are we thinking here? Like, this was a scam, right? Is that the word you want to use, or is that how we want to describe this game ultimately? There's no way anyone can play this game and come away from it and be like, "This is amazing." Like, I saw 2 positive reviews that were only positive, so they could talk shit about the game.
Right. So I'm gonna say it's a game. Well, so I'm going to kind of allude to the No Man's Sky type of mentality, right? They were just like, hey, listen, we have all of this stuff, right? Like scamming versus like just like blatant false advertising. It's like, hey, listen, this is all the stuff that we have when it's definitely not there, right? Now, I will give them the benefit of the doubt that it is technically, I'm doing air quotes right now, that it is a early access, release. It's not a full release. However, when your servers only handle, I think it's like 36 players per server,
right?
And you only have 150 servers, that's like
the big question.
5,000. It's like 5,000 people for the most wish listed game on Steam. Like, I don't know if the devs are not competent in the math area, or or if they were not expecting anything to happen when they announced when they released their game. I guess that's also, they were like, wow, we have a lot of negative publicity, so no one's going to play our game, right? I guess.
I mean, essentially
that mentality.
Yeah, wasn't that what they were saying? Like, hey, we're going to release an early access. Like, don't hate us for it. But I'm like, you've had how long? Also, they said they'd been in development for this game for 5 years.
Right.
That doesn't feel like it's the case.
Yeah. So yesterday they put out a message like on like a Steam update or on Twitter, and they were basically, it was a bullet point thing, and it was like, for all the people that have stuck with us, we appreciate it. For all you streamers that are going to stream it tomorrow, good luck. We hope you've walked with all the success. And then like the next 3 bullet points were like, for our haters, don't say that we spammed anything, or don't say that we scammed anybody, because we've not taken money from anyone. Or the people that said that, we like stole assets, right? We worked hard, or that things were like AI generated, or that we stole assets. We have a team dedicated, and we have worked hard for half a decade. So it's just like they were. I feel like they were prepared for it to be an absolute
Disaster.
shit show. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very surprising because you're looking at the game itself, and like there's clear inspirations from the Division. Its interface, it's like supply interface. It feels like a PUBG Arma type milsim. It's not that I don't like when developers have all of these different red flags, right? They said that they wanted to have people volunteer to develop the game, and then the game it's like you're telling me that you guys don't have enough people to develop this game. You guys are telling me that there's obviously something wrong here, because what we got is clearly not what like anyone expected. Even in an early access state, this is like really bad, right? I've never seen this.
This is like pre-alpha.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, I don't know if you saw this. Like, I got pushed out to the left, right, of the doctor, and there was like a literally like it should just be like a straight wall, right? But instead, it's like I can't describe. It's like a quarter of a wall, and that's very thin. You can kind of go in and around it. And I was like, so let me get this straight. Like, you guys have had all this time. Where's your QA for this? Like, it can't be the community, because we were expecting something. But like, you're gonna put like your mission structure is so poor that the first mission pushes you like 3 to 4 miles away on foot, and there's nothing happening on the way to that area. And the game has a bunch of crashes and a bunch of issues. And when the main like person at this like hub area is talking, it sounds like something out of Watch Dogs Legion, right? Like, remember the AI generated voices? That's exactly what it sounds like. So I would agree it's not a scam, right? I think scam's a tough word. The word I'm going to use is that it's a shit show, and that anybody who wants a refund for this game, push for it as quickly as possible.
Right now.
Yeah, right now. Because you will get a refund quicker than you were able to log in. My last thing for you, Brad, is this game dead on arrival? Because we've seen bad early access before.
Yeah. I don't think so. Right. I think they have like absolutely nuked like their credibility, and like as a company, or as a studio. Do they survive this is like questionable, but I think they have a blueprint. So, okay, so of one stream that I watched, Dr. Disrespect, after his 10-15 minutes of trying to log in, he had absolutely no issue with the game. Like, as far as like progressing, right? He changed a keybind and he couldn't open that first door. So he had to rebind his keys for it to work. But other than that, I mean, he from what I watched, like I didn't watch 2 hours, but I kind of skimmed over his live stream, and over 2 hours, he really didn't have any issue that I could see. I'm pretty sure he had a lot to say about it. But so I mean, like, the game is there, right? And that's why I say it's not a scam, because it is a game. It's a badly advertised whether that bad advertisement's malicious or just kind of the higher ups trying to sweeten the pot, or whatever. But it has potential, right? It's it makes sense on paper, right? Like the concepts of what they've talked about makes sense. They have just done an absolute terrible job of implementing it so far.
Yeah, it feels like, based off how Steam has reacted, unless they're willing to pretty much kill the game right now, because overwhelmingly negative. I'm assuming the majority of that player base right now has requested a refund, that it's going to end up like the cycle. And I remember you played that. I remember it was initially was it like an arena shooter, right, or something like that? Like, what was it before?
No, it was more of a
It was a battle royale, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was a team-based PvEBP objective-based battle royale, right? So you drop down and you had like mining missions, and there was like uh, uh, missions where you had to like protect a robot that was like repairing itself, or you had to go like kill, environment bosses or stuff like that, and you get points. And you didn't win by extracting; you won by doing the most objectives and extracting.
Right. And then it
So-
became an extraction shooter.
Right. And then
Which,
it
by
just
the
kinda
way,
just-
pretty high quality. I thought it was pretty good. I know a lot of people didn't play, but it was solid, honestly. Wasn't too bad of a game. You know, it was pretty fun.
the market's just getting saturated.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I mean-
100%. With this game, though, the day before, I think that it obviously is never going to live up to the hype. It's not. And if somehow it survives this, which I don't think it's going to, I think you can't have this many issues at launch. I think you can't have, like, one of the issues I saw when I first tried playing this was trying to adjust my resolution, and it just freaked out and froze the game. So
yeah, it actually, so I have an ultra wide monitor, and I was trying to so it doesn't support ultra wide resolutions. So it was set on a 16:9, but it was stretched out to an ultra wide, so it was like squished. It was like stretched out. Well, I was trying to set it to a borderless window and set it at the actual resolution, so it looked normal to me, just centered in the screen. Well, for some reason, it decided to move over to my portrait monitor, which obviously doesn't support that ratio, and it was freaking out between the two, because it was like, I'm assuming it was trying to go to the portrait monitor, but the resolution was so wide that it was detecting it on my second monitor, so it kept stretching upwards to fit the portrait monitor, but then it would, like, my second monitor would detect it and it would move it over to my main monitor, and it just did that cycle for a good 45 seconds before I just alt F4'd everything.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that we're, only a few hours out from its release, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of videos that go really in depth about the game if they're able to get in that far. Most people that I saw streaming, content creators put stuff on TikTok, they didn't get anywhere, like, at all. They got to pretty much the same areas. They were, upset that they couldn't log in. They were upset that the game constantly crashed, and that, ultimately it was an empty game that, I thought looked okay visually, but, it just felt generic. I think that's the best word to describe this game, which is a shame because the trailers made it feel like otherwise. The trailers made it feel like it was going to be something fantastic, and unfortunately, we're here. So I think that's going to do it for this video. I think me and Brad both agree. Do not spend $40 on this, please.
But if it goes on sale, still don't buy it.
Yeah, still don't buy it. It's got to be free to play, my opinion. Just
and honestly, the state that it's in, the only thing that I can think of is that they need money, right? It's like if we want to continue to build this game, we have to have some type of cash flow.
And I guess $40 is probably what wouldn't upset the general, populace, but instead you're pretty much pissed off a lot of people.
Right.
I can't see this game surviving for much longer, especially if no immediate fixes are made. Like, you would need like an entirely new version of this game.
I think I've already pushed one hot patch.
All right.
I think so.
They're gonna need about 1,000 more of those to fix this game.
Oh yeah.
Like, games that need these massive day one patches to remove thousands of bugs. This is why you have to respect QA. It is what it is. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like we said, please don't pick up this game. Please don't waste your time. You're gonna see more videos that are gonna be more in depth in this. We just wanted to generally get our thoughts out there about how this even came to happen. I'm Ken. He's Brad. We're Pixelated Thoughts. We'll talk to you next time.